Welcome to TRK Studio, where timeless design meets modern comfort. Today we explore modern vintage minimalist living rooms, blending country elegance and contemporary simplicity. If you love refined interiors, please subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments as we design calm, beautiful spaces together worldwide inspired. As we begin this journey, imagine stepping into a living room where time slows down just for you. This modern vintage minimalist space quietly balances comfort and clarity, blending familiar country warmth with contemporary ease. Notice how every element feels intentional, never excessive, yet deeply welcoming. The soft tones, classic forms, and gentle textures invite you to breathe, to settle, to stay a while. This is not a room designed to impress loudly, but to reassure softly. It reminds us that true elegance lives in restraint, and that beauty often reveals itself gradually, just like a good conversation. Here, the room speaks in calm, confident tones, the kind that feels instantly familiar. You can almost sense how mornings would feel here, peaceful and unhurried. The blend of vintage influence and modern simplicity creates a comforting rhythm, grounding yet fresh. Nothing competes for attention, and that is precisely the point. This space invites you to notice details you might normally overlook: the texture of fabric, the warmth of wood, the way light settles gently. It's a reminder that thoughtful design isn't about trends, but about creating places that quietly support everyday living. As you take in this living room, there's a feeling of quiet assurance, like returning to a place you've always known. The design doesn't rush to impress. Instead, it unfolds slowly, allowing each element to breathe. You might notice how the balance between old and new feels effortless, never forced. This is a room that understands comfort deeply, offering structure without stiffness. It encourages you to sit back, to enjoy stillness, to appreciate craftsmanship. In a world that often feels rushed, this space gently reminds us that calm, enduring beauty never goes out of style. This space welcomes you with a softness that feels both elegant and sincere. There's a sense of refinement here, yet nothing feels precious or untouchable. The modern lines quietly support the vintage character, allowing the room to feel relevant without losing its soul. As you look around, you may notice how each detail works together, never shouting, always harmonizing. This living room is designed to age gracefully, just like the homes we cherish most. It's a place where memories can settle comfortably, supported by timeless design and thoughtful simplicity. There's something deeply reassuring about this room, isn't there? It feels steady, grounded, and honest. The modern vintage balance creates a space that feels lived in, yet carefully composed. You can imagine long conversations unfolding here, quiet evenings, and moments of reflection. Nothing feels excessive, and nothing feels missing. This is design that respects your time and your taste. It understands that true luxury isn't about excess, but about ease. Every choice supports comfort, clarity, and longevity, making this living room not just beautiful to look at, but meaningful to experience. As we move through this space, notice how calm becomes the main feature. The design doesn't rely on decoration to create interest. Instead, it leans into proportion, texture, and light. The vintage elements bring warmth and familiarity, while the modern touches keep everything feeling fresh and uncluttered. It's a conversation between past and present, spoken softly. This room invites you to slow down, to appreciate simplicity, and to reconnect with what feels essential. It's not about making a statement, but about creating a feeling that stays with you long after the video ends. This living room feels like a quiet pause in the middle of a busy world. There's an elegance here that doesn't demand attention, yet it's impossible to ignore. The restrained palette and thoughtful layout allow the space to feel open and grounded at the same time. You may notice how nothing feels rushed, not the furniture, not the decor, not even the way light moves through the room. This is design that respects rhythm and balance. It gently reminds us that the most comforting spaces are often the simplest, thoughtfully crafted over time. Take a moment to absorb how this space makes you feel. Calm, settled, perhaps even a little nostalgic. The modern vintage approach here creates a sense of familiarity without feeling dated. Every element serves a purpose, supporting comfort and visual harmony. This living room doesn't try to reinvent tradition, it refines it. You can imagine how this space would adapt beautifully to everyday life, changing gently with the seasons. It's a reminder that good design doesn't overwhelm, it supports. And sometimes, the most powerful statement is one made quietly. There's a graceful confidence in this living room, one that comes from balance rather than boldness. The combination of modern clarity and vintage warmth feels effortless, as though it has always existed this way. As you explore the space, you might notice how your eyes naturally move, guided by proportion and light. Nothing feels accidental. This room understands the value of restraint, allowing texture and material to speak for themselves. It's a place designed not just to be seen, but to be experienced slowly, offering comfort that feels genuine and enduring. This space invites you in without hesitation. There's a calm assurance in the way everything is arranged, making the room feel instantly approachable. The design respects tradition while embracing modern simplicity, creating an environment that feels both familiar and refreshed. You can sense how this room would support everyday rituals, quiet reading, thoughtful conversations, moments of rest. Nothing here competes for attention, and that's what makes it so appealing. It's a reminder that elegance doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes, it's found in the gentle balance between comfort and clarity. As you take in this living room, there's a sense of warmth that feels honest and unforced. The modern vintage balance creates a space that feels steady and welcoming. You might imagine how this room would evolve over time, gathering stories without losing its character. The simplicity here isn't empty, it's intentional. Each element contributes to a feeling of ease. This is design that values longevity over novelty, comfort over display. It quietly reassures you that a well-designed space doesn't need constant change to remain relevant and deeply enjoyable. There's a quiet elegance woven throughout this space, one that reveals itself slowly. The restrained design allows your attention to settle, making the room feel calm and composed. You can sense how carefully everything has been considered, from the proportions to the materials. This living room doesn't chase trends, it builds on enduring principles. It feels respectful of tradition while remaining comfortably modern. As you imagine spending time here, you realize how powerful subtlety can be. This space reminds us that true beauty often lives in thoughtful simplicity and balanced design. This room feels like a gentle conversation between generations. The vintage elements bring history and warmth, while the modern lines keep everything feeling relevant. You may notice how the space feels open, yet deeply comforting. Nothing overwhelms the senses, and that's intentional. This is a living room designed to support real life, quiet moments, reflection, and connection. It doesn't demand attention, but it rewards it. As you look closer, the quality of materials and the harmony of design begin to stand out, offering a sense of calm that feels lasting. As you step into this space, there's an immediate sense of ease. The design feels familiar, yet refined, offering comfort without heaviness. The modern vintage approach allows the room to feel grounded, never cluttered. You might imagine how natural it would feel to spend time here, unhurried and relaxed. This living room understands that beauty doesn't need to shout. It speaks through balance, texture, and light. It's a space that adapts gracefully to daily life, reminding us that thoughtful design can quietly enhance how we feel at home. There's a reassuring calm in this living room that feels deeply intentional. The symmetry and proportion create a sense of order, while the textures add warmth and depth. You can sense how this space is designed to support comfort, not just visually, but emotionally. The modern elements refine the vintage character, creating harmony rather than contrast. This room doesn't try to impress, it tries to endure. As you imagine living here, you realize how valuable that feeling is. It's a space that respects time, taste, and the beauty of quiet elegance. This living room feels like a soft exhale. The colors, materials, and layout work together to create an atmosphere of calm. The vintage influence adds warmth and character, while the modern restraint keeps everything feeling light and open. You may notice how the room invites you to slow down, to be present. It's not designed for display, but for living. This space gently reminds us that comfort and elegance don't have to compete. When balanced thoughtfully, they create environments that feel timeless, personal, and deeply reassuring. As you observe this space, there's a sense of honesty in the design. The modern vintage balance feels natural, not forced. Everything feels approachable, yet refined. This living room doesn't rely on decoration to create interest, it relies on quality and proportion. You can imagine how this space would support everyday moments, offering comfort without distraction. It's a reminder that simplicity, when done well, can feel incredibly rich. This room quietly demonstrates that thoughtful design is less about adding more, and more about choosing better. There's a peaceful rhythm to this living room that's easy to appreciate. The restrained palette and classic influences create a sense of continuity, while the modern touches keep the space feeling current. You may notice how your eyes naturally relax here. Nothing feels sharp or overwhelming. This is design that understands balance deeply. It doesn't try to dominate the room, but to support it. As you imagine yourself here, you can sense how the space would gently adapt to life, offering calm and comfort day after day. This living room carries a quiet confidence, built on timeless principles rather than trends. The blend of vintage character and modern clarity feels thoughtful and refined. You might notice how the space feels composed, allowing each element to stand comfortably on its own. This is design that respects craftsmanship and restraint. It invites you to experience the room slowly, appreciating the harmony of materials and light. There's a sense of permanence here, a feeling that this space will remain beautiful and relevant for years, offering comfort without compromise. As you look around this living room, there's an immediate feeling of balance. The modern simplicity allows the vintage warmth to shine without overwhelming the space. Everything feels measured, calm, and welcoming. You can imagine how this room would support everyday routines, offering comfort without distraction. This design doesn't chase attention, it earns trust. It reminds us that the most successful spaces are often the quietest ones. When every choice is made with intention, the result is a living room that feels both timeless and effortlessly modern. There's a gentle sophistication in this space that feels deeply considered. The modern vintage approach creates a living room that feels calm, grounded, and inviting. You might notice how the simplicity allows your mind to rest. Nothing demands focus, yet everything feels purposeful. This room understands that elegance is not about display, but about comfort and coherence. As you imagine spending time here, you realize how important that feeling is. It's a space that supports reflection, conversation, and everyday living with quiet confidence and enduring style. As we conclude this journey, this living room brings everything together beautifully. Modern simplicity and vintage charm exist here in perfect balance. The space feels calm, refined, and deeply welcoming. You can sense how every detail has been chosen to support comfort and longevity. This is not a room designed for a moment, but for years of living. It reminds us that the most meaningful interiors are those that evolve gently, without losing their essence. Thank you for exploring this space with me. I hope it inspires you to create a home that feels timeless and truly yours. Thank you for spending time with TRK Studio, exploring spaces where modern vintage minimalism feels calm and meaningful. If this design inspired you, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Your support helps us continue creating elegant, comforting interiors designed for timeless living for homes you truly love always.